A Christian nurse is challenging her former hospital after being forced out of a job because she wouldn't remove her small cross necklace. Mary Onuoha was told her small gold cross on her neck, which she had worn for over 40 years as a symbol of her deep Christian faith, was a health and safety risk and must not be visible. There's been no good reason shown to Mary on why her cross is a risk, while people of other faiths were allowed to wear their jewelry, saris, turbans and hijabs without incident. This and other evidence points to management being about the visibility of the cross, not genuine health and safety concern. Mary has been giving evidence to the Employment Tribunal and has been supported by the Christian Legal Centre. To tell us more about this case, we're now joined by Roger Kiska from the Christian Legal Centre. Roger, welcome to the programme. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good to be on with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Roger, can you kindly give us an insight into this particular case and how the Christian Legal Centre are able to treat Mary's case?
Well, sure. Well, Mary is a devout Christian, and for 19 years she's worked as a frontline nurse for the NHS. She's worn a cross that entire time as a manifestation of her faith. She sees it as part of her calling. Her faith is intertwined quite intimately with her vocation to be a nurse. For 18 years, the entire time she's worn that necklace, there's not been an issue with infection or it coming off. And all of a sudden, for some reason, her line manager and others at that NHS trust deemed it a health and safety risk, while at the same time allowing other religions to wear their religious jewelry, and not just other religions, but secular jewelry to be worn at all. So the argument is at the Employment Tribunal that this is a clear case of discrimination, that they've singled out the cross as something that can't be worn, but other jewelry is fine.
Roger, what are your thoughts on the way that Christians are being treated in Britain at the moment and unable to freely express their beliefs?
Well, you know, at the Christian Legal Center, I mean, this is what we do. We help Christians who have suffered a detriment because of their faith. And having been there a few years, I can say that over the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen an exponential increase in the number of inquiries. I think we had nearly 1,000 inquiries alone just last year, which amounted to dozens of cases. So it is troubling that Christians, simply for manifesting their faith, are getting punished, whether it be through employment, street preachers being arrested, university clubs with Christian ethos, like pro-life clubs, being told that they can't be on campus anymore. So it's very troubling indeed.
Give us an insight into your thoughts on the British government at the moment. Are they doing enough to stand up for Christians? And if not, what more could they be doing?
Well, there's certainly a distinction between how the government is dealing with the issue of persecution abroad versus how it's doing with intolerance and discrimination within the United Kingdom. I think there have been significant efforts, at least recently since the Truro report, to address Christian persecution abroad. But in doing so, they've largely ignored the fact that intolerance towards Christians is greatly on the rise in the United Kingdom. The Christian Legal Center will be publishing a report on this, evidencing the wide amount of discrimination facing Christians in their daily lives in the coming months.
What advice would you give to our viewers who are watching us today and feel frustrated of seeing Christians being persecuted in Britain for their faith? What hope would you give to them today?
Well, I think that, you know, evangelical Christianity, biblical Christianity, is still the quickest growing and most popular form of Christianity. And as long as there's believers, as long as there's a gospel, there's hope. And you know, I would say Britain is still free. We have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. So really know your rights, because in a lot of these cases we win based on the law. The law is good. It's illiteracy to what Christians believe and to how that is manifested in the law that's been the problem. So if more Christians just put their head above the parapet, I think everything will be just fine.
For someone who may be hearing about Jesus Christ for the very first time, how would you explain your relationship with him?
Well, I was saved when I was 19. It completely changed the direction of my life. It led me to this vocation of being a lawyer in the area of religious liberty to support the gospel. And it's the, you know, I'm not going to say it's a decision. It was something that came, you know, through the Holy Spirit, and it's been amazing. And really, you know, for anyone who's searching and questioning, I would say just let it into your heart, because it's a wonderful, wonderful life to live, knowing the Lord.
Roger Kiska from the Christian Legal Centre, thank you so much indeed for joining us. We're praying for you and your team.
Thank you.